Hello everyone, welcome to this Excel course, and in this particular video I'll be showing you how to make use of filter function in Excel. Okay, so I'd like you, if this is your first time of watching me, kindly subscribe to the channel so in case I release more of these videos you will be notified by YouTube, and also like the videos as well. Okay, welcome to the Excel course where I teach people Excel for business analysis. Okay, you could just take some time and go through the playlist for Excel course and see videos that are related to business and analysis. Okay, so right on my screen, this is a continuation of the question I was answering about a supermarket sales data. Okay, here are the questions we are yet to give an answer to. We've done for question 4, we've answered the question 4, and we are yet to complete question 5, 6, and 7, which I'll be doing in this particular video. So I urge you to spend some time on your screen and watch how I do this with Excel until the very end. Now, the next question, that if you want to know more about this Excel worksheets, I'll advise you to watch from the first video. Okay, I have already done a first video as regards answering question 1, 2, and 3, where I made use of a sum function. Then I also answered question 4, where I made use of pivot tables to respond to this question. Now here am I want to answer question 5, 6, and 7. So if you want to know more about this data set, I have more information about this particular data set I am to work on. It's a supermarket sales data. So, and these questions are very, very essential to be answered. Now, question 5 says, what method of payments people use the most to pay for their goods? It's supposed to be they are not the goods, they are goods. THIER, yeah. What method of payments people use the most to pay for their purchase? Okay, now the first thing I usually advise my students to do when you have questions like this, go and look for the column that answers the question. They are asking us here, what method of payment people use the most to pay for their goods? This is a supermarket sales data, and people have different method of payments for goods and services. Some use e-wallet, some pay in cash, some pay in credit cards, some pay in e-wallet. So the most thing significant thing here is e-wallet, cash, and credit card. Three of those things are methods of payments they use for paying for their purchases. Okay, so now the owner of the supermarket is very interested in knowing what payment method people use the most. It's just like someone in Nigeria who owns a supermarket. Of course, the person is going to have POS where people can do what, slot in their cards and pay for purchase. The person also is going to have a bank account where he receives payment, because not everybody will come with card. Like for real, I myself, I can't even, my bank card has even expired. I don't care about it, bro. You understand? My bank card has expired. So if I'm going to purchase something, I prefer transfer. So the owner of this supermarket is kind of curious to know what method of payments people use the most in order to do what, to purchase items from the supermarket. Okay, if the people uses cards the most, he will make a decision that, okay, let me go and get more ATM machines for different banks. Like you could get like 2 ATM machines for different banks. All right, if people use transfer the most, he will know that, oh, the bank app has to be active, okay, in case he receives payments, just to do what, improve his services. So these are intelligence questions people use to improve the services, okay, that they are offering. Now we are curious to know if it's e-wallet that is the most frequently used method of payment, or cash, or the people prefer credit card. How are we going to determine this question? We have to do this using what, the filter function. Now let me briefly tell you what filter is, although I've done a video about filtering of data in Excel, and I can just give a brief recap. Now picture a funnel. A funnel goes this way, as I'm showing you in the video. It goes this way. Do you understand? You pour something into it. What happens? Some parts that can escapes through the down part, and the ones that cannot escape stays at the surface. So it's the same thing you want to do here. You want to filter out the payment methods. We'll filter first for e-wallets and count how many people prefers this, how many people use this. Filter for cash and see how many people use this, and filter for what, credit card, and see how many people use. So before you make use of filters, you have to come to this particular rows where you have your column labeled. When you come there, you click on filter. Filter is in the home tab at the right side of the screen. Okay, once you click on filter, you select, scroll down to where you have filter. So once you turn filter on, you will see this small active box, excuse me, for each of the columns. You're going to see the small active box for each of the columns. So now we are not concentrated on this particular one. The column that is going to give us an answer is this column called payment. Okay, so the moment you click on it, just click on it. There are actually different ways to do it, but I just want to use this method for those who are just beginners in the Excel course, so that it will be quite easy for you. So these are all the methods of payments. We have cash, we have credit cards, we have e-wallet. Okay, so we want to see first, let's do for cash first. If I want to do for cash first, I have to click this button called select all. So it's going to deselect all of them. Then I click on cash. Now it's only going to filter out cash. I'm only going to see people who are paying with what, cash, and counts them. So I've clicked OK. So it's only cash that will appear on this particular. You can see it right here on the column H. Only cash appear. Now before we go ahead to do what, to count, I want us to take note of the cell range. So the cell range is what, H is in column H and row 3. So H3 to what, H3 to H1001. So let me just come down here, is equals to, I want to use a subtotal function. The subtotal function is used when you filtered out data, okay, and you want to count the number of visible columns. You use subtotal. So you want to count the number of cash that appears here and see how many people are doing what, using cash for that period where the supermarkets are doing their sales. So let me call this for cash. For cash, we are going to use a subtotal function, and the function is equals to subtotal bracket open. Remember, H3 is the cell range, ratio H 1001. But before you go ahead to include this subtotal, there's always a function that you're going to use to tell Excel that you want to count this cash, this number of visible range that has been highlighted here. That number is called 103. 103 is meant to count this that has been filtered out. Okay, the moment you type subtotal 103 H3 101 and the cell range like that, then you now hit what, enter button. So we have seen here 344 persons, 344 persons, okay, uses cash when they come to buy from that supermarket that is located in everywhere in the city. So I would come here and put for cash is equals to 344. Then let's do for e-wallet and other payment platforms. So we have to scroll back up, click here. In cash, we're going to select credit card this time around. Let's see what happens to credit card. When we've selected credit card, what's the cell range? H4. H is in column H under row what, 4. Watch my mouse as it's moving. That's where it starts from. So we have to scroll down to where, H992. So we can just put here, instead of, we can clean up this cash and put here credit card. All right, so we now use a subtotal function again. So here is now going to be H4, and here is going to be H9992. H4 here is going to be H992. Okay, then we hit the enter button. Like I told you earlier, subtotal I used to count what, number of visible columns that appears. So 311. Yes, like I already said, 311 are using credit cards. So let's go here, back here, and say credit card is equals to 311. Okay, let's do for the last one. What's the last one? The last one is, let me scroll back up. So I will do for, let me adjust this right here. Click on it here, this particular point here, click on it, and we are going to select e-wallet. E-wallet. Then we click OK. Then let's take note of the range. The range is starting from H2. H2. H2 to what? H9998. Subtotal 183. H2 to H998 rather, not 9998. 998. So after this, we hit the enter button. 345. So for what is that? Is that cash? E-wallet 345. E-wallet 345. E-wallet is equals to 345. Now this is the result analyzed with filter. When we filter the data, okay, we find out 344 payments were done using cash, 311 payments were done using credit card, 345 payments were done using what? E-wallet. So there's no significant method of payments people prefer. Do you understand? It's just good for the supermarket to still maintain their current method of payment, because majority of people who are using cash are the same majority who are using e-wallet, and the same majority who are using credit card. Okay, so we cannot say we want to stop credit card and maintain only cash and e-wallet. The person is going to lose from that business if he does that decision. So it's always good to maintain the whole payment methods that he's currently using. I don't know if you understand me. Of course, you will tell me the highest is e-wallet. People use e-wallet as their payment method. That's what you're going to tell me, right? But how about cash? Yes, how about cash? There's a difference between people using cash to pay and people using e-wallet. It's just one, just single one like this. So it's not significantly different. It's significantly different when you let me discover that people who, for instance, so you discover people who are using cash as method of payment to be 4, and people who are using e-wallet to be 345. There's a big significant difference. So you can now say people who don't like using cash, people prefer what? E-wallet. But that is not the case right here. The case right here is that all payment platforms should be maintained, because there's no difference, there's no big difference between people who are using all of them. So let the supermarket keep on using all of them, because people prefer, you can see all of them are in the 300 range. Do you understand? So we cannot actually conclude that people prefer e-wallet the most, because it's people who are using e-wallet are more by just one, compared to people who are using what? Cash. Okay, it's only people who are using credit card that are 311. But you cannot stop it. You cannot say you want to stop people using credit card, because people will still come say they want to use what? Credit card. So the answer to this particular question, to say what method of payment people use the most to pay for the goods they purchase. Sorry. The question says what method of payment people uses the most to pay for goods they purchase. So the answer to this question is that there's no significant method of payment. From the analysis, there's no significant method of payment. All of them almost have the same, they fall in the 300 numbering. Okay, this is 345. This is, so we cannot really say people are using cash and e-wallet the most. People prefer all of them. People make use of what? All of them. There's no one that will not be needed. So guys, that is how you answer that particular question. So the next question I have here is question 6, and question 6 says what? Do members buy products than normal customers? Do members buy products than normal customer? Now let's get head on to, before you head on to answer that particular question, the moment you use filter, please turn it off. So we have to turn on filter for this so that we don't have a wrong answer. Okay, so let me click on this and click on select all and click on OK. Okay, now the next question we have here is that, do members buy products than normal customers? We want to find out that members, are they buying products than normal customers? Now the column that will answer that question is column B. That's the column that tells you if the type of person who is buying, if it's a member or if it's a what, if it's a member or who is, if it's a normal customer. The member is maybe a member of the supermarket or stuff like that, and the normal could be just a regular customer or just a normal random customer. So we want to find out who purchases items the more. So the next thing you need to do, you have to filter for only member to see. Let's do for only member. We click on OK. So these are all the members that do what's purchase. Let's make a count of them. A count of them for members. Okay, before we make a count, you need to take note of the range first. Members starts from B to, that's B. So this is where we are using subtotal to count the filtered ones. Is equals to subtotal 103. This 103 is not part of the calculation. It's just there to tell Excel that you are going to count the number of visible words data that are available after you filtered. Then B 1001. We want to see for members, then we close the bracket. Then we hit the enter button. What's going on, man? I'm seeing subtotal B2. Is there anything wrong right here? I hope we call the actual range. Subtotal 103, comma B2 B2 sorry B2 to B1001. Then click the enter and hit the enter button. It seems there's a problem here with this formula. Let me see this subtotal. Okay, let me get it, instead of getting it far away, let me get it closer. Can you see what just happened? The B was far away, so let me get it closer and see if that works. Hit the enter button. Wow, there is an issue right here. I'll troubleshoot this issue and I'll report back in the next video. I'm gonna. Alright, guys, I was able to check out the issue, and the issue was just that the type of data format that was used was supposed to be general. Okay, for this particular column, it's supposed to be, what I just did was to right click and go to format cells, and I kept it on general, although formally it was in a number or text, but we just put it in general. Okay, so you just click OK. You can just come back right here and do what, type in the formula again one more time. Subtotal 103 B2 B101. So this is the range, this is the actual formula. So it's 501. So 501 persons are members. 501, sorry, I'm not supposed to answer this right here. Do members patronize, the members buy products than normal customers? So for members, if members is equals to 501, then let's do for customers. Let's see for customers. Let's go to customers right now. Let's filter for customers, for normal people rather. So where does our range start from? Our range starts from, no, it's supposed to be normal. Then click OK. Yes, our range starts from B3. The range, where the range starts for different, this thing will always be different for different data type, or for different variables will always be different. So that previous one was B2, this one is what, B3. Okay, so our range is starting from B3 towards B1000, B3 to B1000. Okay, let's hit the enter button. So 499. Wow. 499. Wow. What can we say? Do members buy product more than normal customers? The truth here is that both members and normal customers, let me type here normal, both members and normal customers are people are even buying the most. So there's no big difference, there's no significant difference between how members are buying and how normal customers are also buying. If that we find out that we from our analysis, for instance, now from our analysis we now realize that sorry members is equals to like 5, for instance, so, and the normal customers is 499, then you now say it's the normal customer that patronize that buys the most. But right now our member is even more than the normal customers, so we cannot say members are buying more, because the difference between the members and the difference between the normal customers is not, is just two difference, just 2 points difference. Okay, that's the difference, so it's not significantly different among those two people who purchases products. There are no significant difference among them, so two of them are contributing to buying what product from the supermarket. Now let's move to the last question, which says, what is the total sales generated from food and beverages? What is the total sales generated from food and beverages? I like you watching this video to attempt this particular question, having watched the video that I used to you can still use filter techniques. Filter out, let me explain to you. Filter out food and beverages. Come right here. Filter out food and beverages. It's very easy. Click on the select or go forward food and beverage. But before you start filtering from this particular column, please make sure you clear the filters from other columns so you don't have wrong answers. Okay, so these are for food and beverage. So what you need to do is to just do what, implement your subtotal and count. Okay, so I'll leave this for you, the watcher of this video. Kindly attempt this question and document your answers in the comment section so that I can see it up. I have a prize for you if you get the answer correctly. All right, shout out to you as watching at this point. I'd like you to subscribe to the channel if you're yet to. Also like the videos to get to wider audience and wider. I love you. Peace.